Let's begin part 2, mining the blockchain. We will make upgrade to our port from section 1. First let's start with nodes. Let's create node address for port 5000 over here. We need node address because we know when a miner mines a block, he gets reward. So for that we need node address to make a transaction from this node address to the miner. Also above here, this add node function takes address, so we need to define node address. Alright, let's create node address. For that we will use UUID4 function from UUID library. It will help to generate unique random address. Node address equal to string function, as we need to make this address string. Then UUID4 function. After that we need to remove dashes, so replace dashes with nothing. Now next we need to update the mine block function. First let's add transaction key in the response and we will get its value from block. Now let's add the transaction with the help of add transaction function defined above, which takes sender, receiver and amount. So blockchain.add transaction, and we need to pass sender, receiver and amount. Sender will of course be the node address, receiver will be miner, let's say miner 1, then amount to be rewarded, let's say 1 whole coin. Now after this we need to make post request so that we can add transaction to the blockchain. So first let's define the route and method. I will give the route as /add_transaction, then method will be post. Then let's define the add transaction function. This function needs to create a transaction, and for transaction main keys are sender, receiver and amount. Here we will get this information of sender, receiver and amount in the JSON format and send that JSON as a post request in the Thunder client. So let's create a JSON using request library, and from this library we will call getJSON function. Now next step is first we will check if all keys in the JSON file sender, receiver and amount are present. For that I will create a list transaction keys and it will contain sender, receiver and amount. Now let's check. If not all keys in our transaction are not in the list of transaction keys, then we will return an error. Some elements of the transaction are missing and HTTP status code for error, that is 400. And so if all keys are present, we need to add this transaction in the next mine block. So we need the next mine block here. For that we can find the index of that next mine block. We can get it from this function add transaction. It returns the index of the next mine block. So let's call this function. I will create a new variable index which is equal to blockchain.add transaction function. And since this add transaction function takes sender, receiver and amount, we need to pass these values, and we can get these values from JSON we define above. So JSON and value of sender, similarly JSON and value of receiver, and finally JSON and value of amount. So since we have the index of the next mine block, we can return the response. First let's create a response. It will have a message. Let's say this transaction will be added to block and the index of the block we just got. Now finally we can return the response by converting into JSON using JSONify, and also the HTTP status code which is 201 for everything is okay in post request. Alright, with this we have completed part 2, mining the blockchain. Now we can move to the part 3, decentralizing the blockchain.